and welcome to the fourth 6 weeks curriculum preview. Our focus this 6 weeks is on drama and literary nonfiction, writing a narrative and an expository essay, and then looking at verbs and voice. So we always start with what to consider with what the standards require. So let's look at these closely. Standard 5A is a drama standard, and it asks us to compare the setting, characters, and plot of a play to a film with a similar storyline. This means we have to read a text, and we also have to find some kind of video with a similar storyline. There's lots of fairy tales, or I'm thinking Romeo and Juliet, things that follow the same type of storyline. So, for example, if we read a play on the Three Little Pigs, and then we watched a video of the Three Little Pigs, and we would need to compare those three elements: the setting, the characters, and the plot. Standard 7, the Strand, asks us to make inferences and draw conclusions about the structural patterns and features of literary nonfiction. So we need to look at what makes up literary nonfiction, what are the features of the genre, and what kind of patterns can an author use. Standard 7A asks us to identify the literary language and devices used in a memoir, a personal narrative, and then compare those characteristics with an autobiography. This would mean we would need to find something from an author that's written about their life in a memoir form or a personal narrative, and then compare it to an autobiography by the same person. A lot of examples, I'm thinking Gary Paulson could be a good author for that, Walt Whitman, or Thoreau. It's looking at different things from the same person. It would be very interesting to find even the same event, but we may not be able to do that. Standard 19AI and 19B both deal with active and passive voice. 19AI deals with irregular verbs with active and passive voice, and 19B asks you to be able to determine the difference between active and passive voice. 19AIII is predicate adjectives and looking at their comparative and superlative forms, and 19AVIII is transitions and how transitions function between sentences, and I would also add between paragraphs. Again, it's really important to remember that our Figure 19 skills overlay with each one of these standards, and that 48% of our last year's STAR was Figure 19. Our skills cannot be taught in isolation from our metacognitive processes. We also need to remember that the standards call for continuous application of previously taught skills, which means we have to bring into account the things that students have already been taught and expect them to continue to use them. So let's look at how these standards were tested in the 2016 STAR. Really, it's Strand 7 that was tested, so there's just a few questions. 7 was paired with Figure 19D. And if you look at this question, the author likely includes paragraph 2, most likely to show. You can see that it's really kind of an author's craft inference question. Why would the author include this? And you have to separate out that one paragraph and then look at the reasoning. Another question, also Strand 7 and Figure 19D, says the description of the mother monkey and the young monkeys in the dining room helps the reader. So why would the author include these, and how does it help you as a reader? So they have to be able to isolate out the description, notice that it's the description in a specific place, and then see which reason makes the most sense. One of the things that we've done is create a skills trace for the 7th grade writing test from the 2016 release STAR. And there's some information that I think affects all of us, even the reading teachers, because we need to be aware of this. There's 26 questions total for editing, and only 3 were true 7th grade skills. So 23 questions were previously taught skills. Therefore, as I said before, it's critical to practice previously taught skills. And to do this, we can look at our student writing, whether it's in an essay or a reader's response or anything that the students do written, to find what errors are in common. And then we need to develop a set of campus expectations. One of the main errors we're making in all grades is apostrophes. Well, apostrophes are taught in 2nd grade. So it would be appropriate to me to say in 6th grade we should be using apostrophes correctly no matter what classroom you're in. So I would really encourage you to develop a set of campus expectations and then hold the students responsible for those. It can't just be you're responsible for what you learned this year. We also need to hold them responsible for what they have previously learned. So we need to think about what works together. To me, the expository essay and the drama comparison would work together because you could write an essay comparing the film and the play that you've read. Transitions could work with either essay and really need to be hit within that writing process. So some resources for you. Here's a good introductory video for literary nonfiction, which introduces you to the elements of literary nonfiction and what it is and what it contains. Some ideas for finding drama. Here's a website for 6 free short plays, which could be a good resource for the classroom. This was an interesting YouTube video on active and passive voice that gave the students a tool to use using the words with zombies, and they liked that. And then the 7th grade skills trace is going to be posted in Canvas under Just in Time Learning. Have a great day. Let me know if you have any questions.